Hey, I'm Wes,
Hey, I'm Clara, and
and
we're
we're
the
the Mullikins.
Mullikins.
Hi. Yeah, we're the Mullikins. We are newlyweds. We've been married for a year coming up in next couple weeks.
Yeah,
August
about 2 weeks,
31st.
August
About 2
31st.
weeks, yeah. August 31st, we got married. 2024, August 31st. That's just mind blowing to me.
It really
We've been
is.
married for almost a year. I feel like
Yeah.
it's been the longest year ever, but also the
Hmm.
shortest year ever.
Right.
We've had probably about a million things happen, and we've
A
probably
lot of
done a
things
million
happen.
things. But throughout all of it, God has been moving in our
Hmm.
lives, and we've seen the evidence of His hand on our lives
Hmm.
throughout all of it. Even before that, just with us being together, engaged, dating.
Yeah.
God has really been at the center of all of it,
Hmm.
and that's kind of really what our focus is with this whole podcast, with what we want to do. We want to not only tell our story, but more so, we want to tell of God's goodness
Yeah.
and what He's done in our lives, what He's done through our lives, all that He's done for us,
Right.
and just let it be a testimony of His goodness
Hmm.
and His mercy and just all of it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I really think about how when we first got together, we was just so in love, and like on the second month of us being boyfriend and girlfriend, we talked about
We
eloping.
wanted to get eloped.
We did. And I remember we were on the phone. I was on the phone upstairs in my room. He was in college then. And so he was in his dorm room.
Hmm.
And we were just talking about it. And we were so sure that's what we were going to do. And then I go downstairs and my mom's like, don't do it. And I'm like, what? And she's like, I had a dream that you guys were trying to get married. You guys were trying to elope. Right now, she said, don't do it because it's not going to be right. She said she had a dream about the whole wedding. And I was like, what in the world? Because she had just woken up from a nap. And we were up, I was upstairs. He was on the phone. And I was like, what in the world? That's crazy. But I am grateful that we didn't do that because the Lord really blessed us to be able to have the wedding that we really desired.
Yeah.
Like we were young. How old were we? 20 when we were,
21, right?
I think we were 20. We were 20 when we got
20.
married.
Yeah.
But before
We got
I think we
engaged.
were
Yeah. Was that
19?
20? We might have been 19.
Hold
No,
on.
we were
No, we
we were
were
20. We were
20.
20.
Yeah. We were
We were
20 when we
20.
got engaged. So I remember like thinking like, dang, like I just want to be with him. You get so clouded
Hmm.
in the beginning when you're in love. You have all those things and you just want to be together. But I thank God because we were able to have the wedding that we desired and God really came through with everything.
Yeah.
Everything. We were young, we didn't have no money. Neither of us had like no money. And so that's even one thing. Like we're not thinking like, oh, we're going to have this big wedding because we really don't have it. But the Lord did a miracle. Like
Yeah.
people were coming to me, hey, I want to buy your dress for you. Hey, I want to give you this venue for free or for this amount that's like $200. Like I'm telling you, like everything God provided for us. And it wasn't even like we were asking for it. Me and Wesley, we're not really like people that want too much or see too much. We're both like we'll be chill and content with whatever.
Yeah.
As long as it's a little nice, we can put it together with our hands. But it's like God was like, "No, I want to bless y'all." And because we said yes and because we obeyed and didn't get married at 2 months
Yeah.
with being together, God really came through for us and we saw him work in miraculous ways. Like with the food and
Hmm.
everything like that at the wedding.
I don't think there was a single thing that wasn't either discounted
Mhm.
or
Or just
or
given
just
to
free,
us.
just yeah, just straight up given
Yeah.
to us. I think literally everything, everything that comes with having a wedding, you need
Mhm.
venues, you need, food,
Yeah.
just all of it, photographers, videographers, all
Right.
of it. Like there's so many, vendors and services that you had to
Yeah.
get. And I can't think of a single thing that we like had to just straight up full price get.
Yeah.
And that was only by the grace of God, because it
For
wasn't even
real.
like we were just sitting here searching for deals and
Right. It was
searching
like,
for like, oh well, this person's more
yeah.
expensive. Like, of course we didn't want to settle with
Mhm.
anything. We weren't
But
just.
there were times where we were going to.
That's true.
Yeah, there were times where we were going to settle for something that was cheaper or
Mhm.
somebody that we knew that can
Yeah.
maybe do it and help us out a
"Oh, we
little bit.
can't
And
do
like,
this.
yes,
It's
and
too
every single
expensive."
time that we did that or tried to settle, it would not work out.
Nope.
And God would give us exactly what we wanted, but didn't like literally voice that we
Mhm.
want. We might have talked about it, like, oh, this would be great if we had it. But every single time we tried to settle, it's like God didn't allow it to work out because he
Mhm.
had better for us. Like with our food. Like
Yes.
I had somebody that was asking that I knew. I was like, "Oh, they could probably do it." That fell through at the last minute, actually the month of our wedding. And
Literally.
so I was like, "You know what? I'm not even going to freak out about this because God has proved himself this whole entire process." And so I was real chill about it. Like the wedding was in a couple weeks, but I was like,
Better have no
I
food.
God's done too much. I believe he's going to come through. And so then our favorite taco truck, my mom had went and contacted for us, and I didn't know, but our
Mhm.
favorite taco truck that we've been going to is in Evansville, Indiana, and we had just found it around that season, and it was like, "Oh, we love this. This would be great." And
Mhm.
we both love tacos, and so that's why we wanted it at our wedding. My mom contacts them and they're like so happy. They say, "Come and we'll give you some taste tests. Actually, you can come and taste whatever you want." And they made so much food, but we weren't
Mhm.
able to be there, but we knew it was good. But my mom and then also my good sister was with her as well. And so they went, and the people, they were like, "We'll give you this discounted price." And it was way less than what I was going to settle for with
Yeah.
somebody that I kind of knew. And so I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's nothing but God," because that's like
Mhm.
exactly what we wanted. I mean,
Mhm.
and then same with my dress. Like I went through so many weird stuff, like even when it came to like getting my dress, like things just weren't working out. But it's
Yeah.
like at the very last minute, like people would tell me like, "You girl, you ain't got your dress yet, you should have did that like 5 months in advance." And it's like, well,
Mhm.
I'm working with God, so I don't know. I don't know what to do. But I remember like when I went, the day that I actually got the dress that I wanted, like it's just crazy the way it worked out. They actually didn't even have my size there, but somehow, like, they were able to get it in time. And with wedding dresses, especially if you got to get it fitted and everything, that's not going to come like within a few weeks of the wedding. But it worked out, and it was like the
Mhm.
perfect wedding dress. And I really thank God for
Yeah.
that. Like, even thinking about it now, just everything that God provided for us
Yeah.
both is just crazy and it's amazing.
Yeah.
So,
Just through all the pushbacks and
mhm,
all the, quote unquote setbacks that we
yeah.
thought were just horrible and were just gonna wreck us. All the things that might have been disappointments or
Yeah.
things that, we thought weren't gonna be as good. All of that, concerning our wedding. In the end, it all turned around. And
Hmm.
in the end, God really worked through all of it,
Yeah.
and He really blessed us with an amazing wedding, far far beyond anything that we thought it would be.
Mhm.
The reception, the ceremony, the reception, all of it. It was really beautiful, and God came in, and we're beyond blessed and happy that we were able to share that moment
Mhm.
with each other and
Yeah.
with everyone who attended, and it was great.
Yeah.
The day before and even like the morning of the wedding, everybody just tells you, savor the moment.
Yeah.
It's gonna go by, and I'm like, whatever. I'm sitting there getting ready, like trying to wait hours until stuff's about to happen. I'm like, all right, I'm trying to get married here. Let's go. But
Right.
but at the same time, I'm trying to soak it all in. I'm naturally very a very in the moment person, so it wasn't too hard to be in the moment. That was easy for me. But just even in still, like, I'm being in the moment, standing in the altar, like, I just look around and I see a whole bunch of faces of people I know
Mhm.
and who've been in my life, and then I see this wonderful person, this beautiful person who I've known for, what, 2 years, come down the altar, and I'm about to marry her, and I'm just like, I don't know, it's just like awe and shock. It's like I can't even really describe it because it was such a flash, but at the same time, it was such like a long, it felt like an eternity when you're in it. Like I'm seeing this person walk down the aisle that I love and is my best friend, and I'm about to marry her.
Mhm.
And like I get this, like this is my life right now. Like God has given this to me, and I'm just like, I don't know. That's all I can think of is just shock and awe. Like it was something else because you dream of your wedding your whole life, and even as a guy, like you're not thinking of this fairy tale wedding. You're not, women, that's how they dream of their wedding, they plan it all out. But I even even God, at least for me, I've always dreamt of my wedding. I dreamt of getting married. How great it would be, how awesome it would be, and just being in it. I don't know. I just had to thank God in my head because I, you know, eh, I feel like I blinked and it just all came together and it happened. I'm like, this is crazy. I just couldn't understand it, but it was amazing.
Yeah. I guess for me, I can I think I can be kind of like an emotional person, but that day I felt like I was like I don't know, it just felt like I couldn't feel. Like, I just
Hmm.
felt like, "What in the world?" Like, I guess it could
I
have
know
been,
what
like,
you
shock or something, like, "Oh, this has actually happened," but it's like I
mean.
couldn't connect to the fact that this is literally my wedding because, like, what you were saying about how women can plan their whole wedding out, like, all their lives, I wasn't that. Like, I never thought, like, about my wedding and a dream wedding or a dream dress or anything like that, so when marriage came to me, it was just like, "What in the world?" Like, I've always thought like, "Ooh, I wanna be married, like, I want a husband," but I never, like all the details of it, it's like I never really, like, I guess, comprehended that it could
Mhm.
happen to me.
Yeah.
And so, like, when it came to the day, it was like, it was crazy that, "Okay, this is actually happening. I'm getting married," And when I was walking down the aisle, it was just like I was smiling so big, I feel like and then I think the thing is I couldn't even see the people, which is crazy. I
Yeah.
couldn't see the people, but I really could see you,
Mhm.
and you stood out to me, like, differently, and I was just really, like, filled with joy, and I was glad to be able to marry you, and I'm about to cry.
Mhm.
But it's like sometimes I do think about our marriage and the way we got together, and sometimes it does feel like a fairy tale. I know, like, things aren't literally perfect and
Yeah.
things aren't just like, but it felt like just a flow, and,
Yeah.
looking at you, it was like, "Okay, I'm really about to say yes
Mm.
to a man who is very loyal, very loving, and literally loves not just me, but anybody he comes in contact with the love of Christ." And like when I looked at you, it was just like almost like you were shining. And I was just ready to get up there, ready to kind of get, through everything. But it's like even through all the nerves, because I went through so bad before the wedding started. I struggled with chronic illness. And so I was like violently ill that
Mhm.
morning, the morning of my wedding. And I remember I was just very nauseous. Just a lot was going on, a lot of pain. And so when it came to that time, like, even though I struggled that bad, like just looking at you, like really helped me. And like just keeping my eyes on you and knowing, okay, this is a man that I love, a man I know that loves me. And yeah, I just, in that moment, I think it was just like, I felt like I was really focused on you. Not to say that I wasn't before, but it was like you really brought me a lot of joy. Like, even if things weren't going perfectly, or even if things
Yeah.
weren't going right, and even though, like, who wants to be sick on their wedding morning,
Hmm.
having to get dressed and do all that. And, it's a lot of activity, people are all in your face. And when you're dealing with chronic illness, that is not the place to be. But I really do thank God, like, in that moment, I was able to see you and see even the God in you, I think. And that really made everything just so much more better knowing that I'm marrying a man of God.
Mm.
So, yeah. So, would you say we're called to marriage?
Definitely.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I
I
believe as
remember
well.
I remember hearing, I don't know what, I think it was your dad. But somebody, I remember hearing that you're either called to marriage or you marry because you don't have enough self-control, which
Mhm.
isn't like a bad thing, it's in the Bible, if you can't remember the word, but you know what I mean? Like if you
Yeah,
don't
it's
have enough.
better to marry than to burn.
Yes. Thank thank you. Exactly that. So, but with us, I definitely felt something different. I felt like we were definitely called to marriage. I
Yeah.
just thought about it like a week ago, and I brought it up because I know we talked about it before.
Mhm.
But after I heard that saying, I was kind of like, we're definitely called to marriage. Like it wasn't just something that we just did
Mhm.
because we just liked each other,
Yeah.
or we did it because we just don't have enough self control and we got to get
Mhm.
married now. It was like it was something different. The way
Yeah, yeah.
everything,
Flow.
yes,
And
flowed
it
and
was
was
like we were
orchestrated.
literally like brought together.
Mhm.
It was so random, like, cause I was one that, I'm not about to be with anybody, and I wasn't even like, when he came to me, I wasn't even looking for nobody. I was chilling, had my relationship with God, and I'm not even gonna say like, "Oh, I was married to Jesus, I was married to." It wasn't even like that. It was just, yeah, of course I had my relationship with God, but I was really just in a zone, like, of
Yeah.
ministry and different things like that. And it's crazy because during that time, I kept seeing, the numbers 1111, and I don't believe
Mhm.
in angel numbers, but I do believe that God created numbers
Yes.
and, he works with numbers. And so I kept seeing 1111, and I remember telling my parents, I'm like, "I keep seeing this number and it's kinda scaring me because 'cause I'm not trying to be, like, going into something weird."
Hmm.
But, my dad was like, "Maybe research what it can mean biblically or spiritually," and I was trying to look through, and I just been praying about it all that time. And I remember there was a camp that we went to that my dad had to preach at, and he had
Mhm.
gone to that camp. It's called Camp Destiny.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
the church that I grew up at, my whole life, they had a
Mhm.
summer camp every single year.
Yeah.
And I went to it almost every year. A
Mhm.
bunch of families at the church always went to it. And so I'd been there my whole life every
Yeah.
summer.
And so my dad's a pastor, and our family is very close knit, and we work in ministry together. And so I remember that summer I was working. And I knew my dad had to go that week. And that's where I kind of really met Wesley, but it
Mhm.
was in 2019. This was in 2022. And when I met Wesley, it wasn't like we built a relationship. It was like a hey, hey, and then
Mhm.
go our separate
We
ways.
knew of each other.
Yeah. So in 2022, when my dad had to speak there, I was like, dang, I can't take off of work. I don't feel like I should because I had been taken off previously due to physical illness. But I remember just feeling this tug, and I felt the Lord tell me, you got to go. And so I was like, okay. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, I got to go help my dad in ministry. So I told and it was a whole week I had to take off. And I told my parents, I was like, I'm going to come because I feel a tug from the Lord. And I want to be able to help, in this part of ministry. And so I take off for that week and I go. And then somehow me and Wesley, like, we end up just
We just
connecting.
kept running into each
Yeah.
other in like moments where it would be like just us, just like walking. Like I would hold the door open for her, and then I'm
Hmm.
walking into the church with her or
Yeah.
something. There's nobody else around. Just
Yeah.
random moments where we just like started having small little, I don't know,
Right.
conversations,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't
It
know. It's
flowed.
yeah, it flowed. It was, I
And
don't
there
know.
and there's a funny part to it. He's probably gonna be mad that I say
Oh,
this. But but I had that's back when I danced a lot and they asked me to dance at the church. And so after I get done dancing, I come down and like his youth group is coming up to me and like, "Oh, that was great." And then he comes and he's like, "By the way, I really liked your dance." And then he said, "But da 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 da," and like literally twirled away from me. Like he got nervous and twirled away from me because that's like the song.
I
It's
did
Ty
get
Tribbett. It's a
nervous.
song by Ty Tribbett. I forget
Yeah, it
what it's
was Get
called.
Up. Get
Yes,
Up
and
by
it's the
Ty
but da da
Tribbett.
da da da.
That's the first time I heard that song,
Yeah.
and I saw her dance, and it was fire. I
Yeah.
loved the song. At first,
Mhm.
I'm just like, all right, this girl's cool. This is a
Mhm.
sick song, and she's dancing. Like, what is this? Who is she?
And before I can barely say thank you, he literally is like da 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 and twist away, and I'm like,
Look,
okay.
I started the compliment, and I felt good, and then I got nervous in the middle of the compliment, so I had to find an exit route. So I twirled away, and that was my exit route. Like as you were saying back to me, like, "Oh, you were doing good
Yes, as
playing the
I was like
drums or
trying to
something."
respond, he like just
It was
twist away.
yeah, I couldn't. I had to escape. I was probably getting red
Yeah.
and hot and nervous, but I had to get out of there. My mission was to
Yeah.
give the compliment and get out, and it
Mhm.
worked. So,
Yeah, I guess. But it was so funny to me. And I was like, what in the world is he doing? And I remember my sisters kept saying, like, he likes you, he likes you. And I'm like, no, he does not. There's no way he does. And like I literally I kinda I guess because I kinda felt something too. And I'm like one of those, I'm not giving nobody my attention. I don't even feel like getting into all that. If you're not my husband, I'm not doing any of it. So I was kind of like, no, it's not. That's not no, that's not what's going on. And I was very extra about like, no. But I say all that to say that the number 22. So I was saying I was seeing the number 1111 and I kept seeing it, and I'm like, I don't know why I see it. And then it's like I keep seeing 22. And I'm like, okay, 22. And I'm like, 11 plus 11 equals 22. And I'm like, oh, Okay, what is that? And then I'm like, okay, I don't want to just focus on these numbers. So God, you
Mhm.
got to show me what this is. I don't want to be getting into nothing. And so I say all that to say, like, the scripture, Genesis 2:22. So I remember reading my Bible one day, and after praying, because me and Wes had got together, he asked me to be his girlfriend shortly after the camp. And I
It was actually
remember,
on August 22nd,
yeah, 2022.
2022, so
And I was like, oh, that's crazy. Maybe that's
mhm.
what it is.
And
But I'm
she
like,
she hadn't told me of
yes,
any number thing.
right. And I'm like, that could be
Was it
it.
the time also, like, something 22, the time?
12:22 is when you proposed to me. It was
Oh,
12:22, that's what you're talking about.
that's what you're
But
saying.
when we're
Okay.
boyfriend and girlfriend, when we got, we became boyfriend and girlfriend
Yes.
October 22nd, 2022, and I was like, "Oh, maybe that's it," but that still wasn't enough for me because 'cause I'm like, "I need Bible to know that it's God." And so I was praying one day. I was like, God, I already said yes to being his girlfriend. And I was like, but now I'm freaking out because I'm like, I don't want my first boyfriend to be somebody that's not my husband.
Mhm.
So I was like really praying hard. I was like, God, show me please that this is my husband. So I have a study Bible and I looked down at my study Bible and I just opened it. Um, and I remember seeing this passage. There's a passage in it that talks about word wealth. And it says to love, to have affection for someone, to like, to be a friend. And it said the English word love and that its range of meanings covers the same ideas. And I guess it's talking about the Hebrew word ahab. I don't know.
Hmm?
Ahab.
Have yeah, I guess.
I'm not good with this, but can refer to loving God, loving one's friend, romantic love, love of ideals, love of pleasures, and so on. The form refers to a friend or lover. The first mention of love in the Bible was in Genesis 22:2.
Mhm.
And so that was like my clear sign. Okay, he put some Bible to it. And I'm like, yeah, this is my husband because of that 22 number. And so then I look even at the scripture. This is when we know that we're called to marriage.
Mhm.
Because fast forward to now. And Genesis 2:22, that one was talking about Genesis 22:2. I know it probably sounds like twos and twos, but this one I just was seeing like Genesis 2:22 for some reason. We were in the car just reminiscing about marriage and how we feel
Mhm.
called to marriage. And it says, then the rib which the Lord God had taken from the man, he made into a woman, and he brought her to the man. And so I was like, oh, yeah, this was like confirmation we're
Mhm.
called to marriage because we think about how I went to that camp and I wasn't even supposed to go, but God told me to go. And that camp was actually something that he's been at since childhood. It was like
Really?
his thing. And I was like, it's crazy that
Mhm.
God literally brought me to you.
Yeah.
To your
Yeah.
space. And I'm like, yeah, we're called to marriage. God did this. And
Yep.
that's why I feel like all this time it just felt like just a divine connection and not just like a normal, oh, we like each other, let's do this. But it was
Yeah.
like we were really drawn to each other. So
Mhm. It
yeah.
was just like a no-brainer
Mhm.
for some reason. Like,
Yeah.
even I don't know why I always think about how, um, to first initiate our, I guess, dating or whatever, I DM'd her and
Mhm.
asked her out, on a date,
For
and
ministry.
that's besides the point, okay? It worked, okay? Yes, I did pose it as a meeting where I wanted to talk to her about ministry,
Ministry.
but, it worked, I liked her, and I wanted to date with her, and
Yeah.
so it got
We
me
end
in,
up
so
talking for 5
that
hours.
was crazy, but,
Yeah.
I always think about when even before I was about to, send her that DM, um, I knew that if I decided to pursue her, um, that she would be my wife. I don't know why. I just like it made sense, like it was right. Like even some of my friends were like, "Hey man, like this isn't this what you've always wanted? Like this is a woman who's like after God and like she's really living her life surrendered to the Lord and she's awesome, she's beautiful,
Mhm.
like she's artistic, she's creative, she dances, like that matches drumming like in a way." Um and I was just kind of like, yeah, if I do this, I'm gonna marry her. So I remember having like this panic moment of like, do I really want to do this? Like, do I want to marry this woman? Because if I send this DM and I pursue her, I know she's wife material. That's what I knew, and I knew how amazing and awesome she was, and how beautiful she was. And I was just like, if I pursue this, and she don't hate me. She don't think I suck. I'm gonna marry her. And I just like had this moment where like, do I really want to do this? And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I want to do this, and I'm very glad I did. And
Mhm.
just all the confirmation that God brought along the way, even the confirmations of when He wanted me to propose to her,
Mhm.
um, just all of it. I know that God has His hand over our union,
Mhm.
over our marriage, and that He literally set every single
Yeah.
step in place. And it's just crazy, and it's a blessing that we've been able to live that we've been able to follow those steps,
Yeah.
and to be married and to see how God is going to use us, how God is going to use our marriage, um, to bless others and minister to others. And that's what we're really excited for too,
Yeah.
as far as our future goes, is how He's going to use us together as one
Mhm.
in marriage to minister to others, just in anything, in
Mhm.
whatever He's calling us to. That's what we're really excited for.
Yeah. And like we even think about after we got married. I mean, we went through a lot before getting married, but
Mhm.
after we got married, like literally right after we got we got
Floodgates
married,
let
like
loose.
crazy stuff started happening, but it wasn't like anything like between us.
No.
And we've always talked about that like things can happen on the outside, but we always make sure like with our
Yes.
relationship, it can't get in
Hmm.
here, you know?
No.
But it's like things started happening just on the outside with different people, situations, just very abnormal stuff.
Hmm.
But and I just that just further proved to me that God is with us because through all of it, all that we went through, all that we experienced, all the weird, crazy stuff that happened to us, we came out on top every time.
Yeah.
You know, God did a miracle every time.
Yeah.
And like we're still expecting. There's things that
Yeah.
we're still expecting him to do, things that we're still
Hmm.
going through that we're just believing that God is going to come through and we're going to come out on top every time.
Yeah.
Like, and people used to say, you know, you're happy now, just wait until,
Hmm.
you know, 10 years down the line and it's like, no,
Hmm.
we're not
No.
receiving that because our marriage is truly founded on the rock, which is Jesus. And
Yeah.
as long as he is in this relationship as well, I believe that we can be happy until
Come on.
we die. You know what I
For
mean? I
real.
believe that we can have a healthy marriage, you know, 10 years down the line.
Mm-mm.
I believe that we don't have to be arguing and going back and, you know, stuff like
Mm-mm.
that. And so I just thank God that even through because we went through some harsh stuff. It's not just little
Mhm.
stuff. It's stuff that really should have caused us to doubt, caused us to look at each other crazy, caused us
Yes.
to, you know, go through so many emotions and dysfunctions. But
Yeah.
through it all, we've kept our joy, we've kept our
Yeah.
sanity, we've kept our peace and our
Mhm.
prosperity, not even just material, like with material stuff, but
Mhm.
we've prospered emotionally, mentally,
Yes.
physically, and spiritually through it all. And so I thank God for that.
Mhm.
And it's all just drawn us closer to one another.
Yeah.
And like every day I think about him and I think about how much more I love him.
Mhm.
Like there's not a day where I'm like, I don't I wish I didn't do this or he's looking ugly to me right now. Or I'm like,
Mm-mm.
really not. No, it's like it's like every single day he just looks better and better to me. I feel so much more love and it's real and I just thank God and I just even want to encourage like other marriages and people that that's a possibility I believe for everyone.
Yes.
You know, as long as Jesus is truly the head and the foundation, as long as, you know, you believe that this relationship isn't just two people, it's three into one. You
Mhm.
know, when you get married to somebody, you become one. And when you're in your relationship with God, there's like another level of oneness that happens spiritually. And so I believe that's really happened with us. And I'm just so grateful for our relationship
Mhm. Yeah.
and that God brought us together.
Mhm.
What's the most valuable thing that you learned in the past year of our marriage?
um, I think what comes to my mind is making sure that you're always listening to the voice of God,
Mm,
making sure that you're not listening to different thoughts, other
mhm,
people's thoughts, even your own emotions or
mhm,
thoughts that may not, may on the surface you may think are fine or right, but uh, really may not be leading you in the right direction.
mhm,
But really mentally, just always taking a step back and like focusing on just the voice of God,
mhm,
focusing on what makes sense in his eyes?
Mhm.
What direction is going to lead you closer to
Yeah.
him? And I think about real small things too, because that's what, a marriage is always, it's 24/7. There's no break in a marriage,
Mhm.
like for real. There's no like, oh, let me, I think let's just take a day and just
Mhm.
not spend, like, no, that's weird. That
Yeah.
sounds weird to me to just
Like
be
to
like, I think
separate.
I need a
Yeah.
break from my wife for a
Yeah.
sec, or I think or let's just take a healthy little break. Like that is,
Mhm.
I don't mean not to say that you're just literally attached at the hip 24/7,
Mhm.
but that doesn't sound right or natural to
Mhm.
me, or in the order of God to that, like, be able to just like separate from your significant other for like a period of time just because you need a break or something. Um, I say all that to say that, marriage is 24/7. There's no
Mhm.
break with it. It's always. And
Yeah.
so, um, you know, big things, people see big things. People know about big things, the wedding,
Mhm.
anniversaries. If you go out and you post a little picture of you go out on a date, all that stuff is good. But like, what about when it's at night and you're just sitting in bed and one person is struggling
Mhm.
emotionally, or one person is going through in a certain area, or what somebody said this little thing to you or to your spouse, and now you see a shift in them and you're like, something's wrong with them. Like what, like, are you gonna be like, what the heck's wrong with them? You gonna get
Mhm.
mad and get mental and be like, what's wrong
Mhm.
with them? This is why are they acting funny, whatever.
Mhm.
They can deal with it. Or are you going to say, no, this is my spouse, this is
Mhm.
my wife slash or
Mhm.
husband, let me pay attention. Then what's going on,
Mhm.
paying attention to their changes
Mhm.
and saying, how can I, help them, because I don't
Mhm.
want to see them go through that.
Mhm.
um and that, I say all that, to follow the whole following the voice of God, because in your head you can have those thoughts of like, what the heck just happened? Why'd
Yeah.
they just change? Or,
Right.
I'm trying to go to bed. Why
Mhm.
why why are we talking about this? Why are we going through this right
Yeah.
now? You could sit there and think that, but you have to take a step
Mhm.
back. You have to take a step back and say, okay, hold on. what what does God want me to do right now?
Right.
What is biblical? What is the biblical thing to do
Mhm.
right now? What is the heart of Jesus?
Yeah.
What does he want me to do right
Yeah.
now?
What would Jesus do?
Probably, yeah, well, yeah, for real. What would Jesus do? Basically, I could summarize it to what would Jesus do, but what? How can I not just follow? Just, I want to go to bed, or, oh,
Mhm.
I want to be chill right now. I don't want
Mhm.
to be going through all this. I don't want to talk about all this. I want to just get on my game, or I want to go play
Mhm.
basketball. I want to go play drums. It's something, whatever your hobby
Yeah.
is, whatever. No, how can I best, meet the needs of my spouse,
Mhm.
because you're with them the rest of your life,
Yeah.
and that's a good thing. That's supposed to be a good thing.
Mhm.
I didn't marry her to hate her in like 10 years,
Mhm.
or to have the last 5 years of my life be hell
Mhm.
because we're old and we don't like each other and we're whatever, just any of that. I don't, and God doesn't call us to that. That wouldn't
Mhm.
make any sense if marriage is an example of the body of Christ being the bride to Jesus. Why would it be, we're not in relationship with Jesus and
Yeah.
then he hates us the last 5 years of our life,
Right.
like he hates us within a year of giving our life to him? No, that's not the purpose.
Right.
And so I think when you enter marriage, it's for life. You're meant to love, to
Mhm.
like them to be
That's
your
true.
friend for life.
Yeah.
And in that, you have to be intentional
Mhm.
about the tiny things, the little
Right.
things, not letting things affect you, not letting them affect you. If they're going through, taking a step back and not just following your emotions, or not
Mhm.
just following what you want to do or your flesh, but saying, all right, what does God want me to do right now? How do I help my spouse right now? What should I
Mhm.
say to my spouse right now to help this situation, to help with what they're going
Mhm.
through, to just be closer to them, to speak into their life, to minister into their life. What
Mhm.
do I need to do? And listening to the voice of God.
Yeah, and like I really agree with that because when you listen to the voice of God helps you to discern,
Yes.
what's underneath.
Yeah.
Even if you see that your spouse is a little irritated or their
Mm-hmm.
tone was a little off or some was just different,
Mm-hmm.
um, big or small, the voice of God will help you to react correctly, and
Mm-hmm.
the discernment that He gives us will help you to make right judgment.
Yeah.
concerning it. Because and I feel like I've really learned this from you in our marriage. Like even no, for real, even hearing you talk even more about it, because I feel like that was hard for me. I just a lot of times would want to react with what I'm seeing at the surface and go with that. But like he's always one like, and I call this our pillow prayers at night. At night, like we be talking about something, or I be feeling some type of way, whether it be because something he said earlier in the
Mhm.
day, or or something just on the outside. And one thing that he'll do, like if I'm a little bit too upset, or if I'm like kind of standoffish or quiet, he'll pray. And we've both like learned that over time, like the prayers, especially at night, especially in the bed, because I really believe like the bedroom between marriage is very sacred.
Yeah.
And it's something like every time like we pray, like in our room and in our bed, I can feel God meet us, and I can feel something shift and something break. But I really believe that's really something that I've learned that's been very valuable in our marriage, is listening clearly to the voice of God, and actually even being in a place where you're able to deny what your flesh might want to
Yeah.
do, because it's not easy. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Sometimes if somebody says something off, or says something different, says something weird, or something just happens, like, and it's like the atmosphere is off. Because with us, we're not ones like to get loud or nothing, or to like really go back and forth, but we'll get real quiet. Both of us.
Yeah.
We'll get quiet and we'll just kind
You
of be
shut
like,
down.
and kind of just throwing each other
Yeah.
looks or walking past it. Like, oh yeah, we both kind of like just shut down in that area. But it's like when you listen to the voice of God, He will help you to deal with things that are underneath what was said, underneath what you might have even heard, and to make correct judgment and discern between what's really happening. So I think really listening to the voice of God is something that's
Yeah.
really great in a marriage, and like one of the most important things.
Mhm. What about you? What's the most valuable thing that you've learned in marriage, in this first year of marriage?
The first year of marriage, um, I have to really think.
Yeah.
I have to really think about
Sorry.
this. um, I guess saying like I think selflessness.
Mm.
That's one of
That'll do
the
it.
no, for real. Like,
That'll do it.
and it's something I've always prayed
Yeah.
for. Like I pray God help me to be more selfless, but marriage has really taught me how to consider others
Yeah.
like above myself. And so I say like I've learned selflessness in this.
Mhm.
And how maybe there's times where I don't feel like doing something, or like I just want to do something for myself. But it's like now being married, it's like I always have somebody else to think about, because we're connected and I can't help but to think about you.
Mhm.
Like if I get food, I can't enjoy it unless I know that you've eaten, or you are able to get your own food. And it's like, or if I'm watching a TV show now, like I can't just sit and watch a show and enjoy it by myself. I have to get Wesley and we have to watch it together. And if he's not there, I can't sit and do it. And but the only way I can do it if it's like a childhood show that I've already watched and it's just like
Yeah.
a comfort show or something. But like anything new, I'm always gonna be like, okay, let's get Wesley. Let me get Wesley. I mean, whether we're with people or not, I gotta put him in on this because I know he'll enjoy it. Like it's kind of hard for me to enjoy stuff knowing that he might enjoy it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like if it's
Mhm.
something I know he enjoys and I'm just kind of out by myself or with somebody, it's like I gotta wait till Wesley's able to do it.
Mhm.
But like even when it comes to cooking, and like I said before, like struggling with chronic illness, that adds a whole different dynamic
Yeah.
into a marriage. When you have a spouse that is sick or ill very frequently, and he works and I'm a stay-at-home wife.
Yeah.
I do other work outside of that, but I'm at home and I'm able to take care of the house. I'm able to cook, make sure things are settled. But sometimes even then, sickness can get in the way of that. But I know like people might think like, oh, that you need a chill, you need a lay. But it's like in my mind, I love my husband and his love drives me to get up and do what I need to do. You know what I mean? Even through the pain. And so yeah, I just feel like I've learned a lot of selflessness, and like I'll make sure even if I don't eat, even if I'm not really taking care of myself in the area. It's not like literal self-neglect. It's just I care about him and I want to make sure he's good, make sure he got what he needs, and it's like okay, then I can have peace and do what I need to do. And it's not just like, oh, he's one of those husbands that even cares about that, but it's just I love him and I want to do it.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Mm.
selflessness.
What what can we expect next from you guys? What's next? What's on the horizon? What are you looking forward to? What are you excited about? Give us all that.
So I'm so excited about a baby.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm just playing. Kind of.
No,
But
you're not playing.
but yeah, what do you think? Like is the main thing? I think a lot of ministry together. I know we've already kind of started like we both had over a young adult group called Purpose at our church. I think that's like the beginning of us doing ministry together.
Yeah.
And I know before, like when we first got engaged, I think we started doing videos on social media.
Mm.
But I think, we are really gonna get more into that, like putting out videos and
Yeah.
different things like that, but also a lot of ministry work but yeah, I think children as well. I do. I
I
think
agree.
kids. I think about 7 kids. No, I'm just like
Sounds like no sleep, negative sleep.
yeah, I think children. I think kids. I think children. But the thing is, like, just to let y'all in, like, on a little personal thing, children for us would be a miracle. Like, it would be a blessing. With the
Mhm.
chronic illness that I deal with and different things that I go through in my body, it actually, what I'm struggling with, attacks my reproductive system
Mhm.
and it actually threatens my chances at having children. But
Mhm.
if God did it before, if He did it with the wedding,
Come
if He
on.
did it with our marriage, He can do it with this.
Come on.
And the crazy thing is like with everything, like we said before, God just comes through and
Yeah.
He won't allow us to settle. And like
Mhm.
with it all, He won't allow us to be in a place of despair
Yeah.
or in a place of unbelief. And I believe He's going to do it. And I
Yeah.
believe that He will. And there's so much more that we're seeking from God. And I believe that He's truly going to do all of it for us because, ooh, that was our theme scripture. Remember? He will.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's for the wedding, right?
Matthew 18:19.
Yes.
If two
Let's pull
agree
that up.
on something, our Father in heaven will do it for us. So that's what we're believing. He's going to pull
We
it
already
up
said
for
that.
us, though.
Okay.
No, that was just like what I
Paraphrase.
can what I can remember.
Paraphrase. I forgot about that. Yeah, we made a
Yeah,
whole
I just completely remembered
we
that.
made a whole song and stuff. But yeah, God gave her the scripture concerning our wedding because this was before we had anything
Mhm.
set for it, and
Yeah.
just a lot of things in our lives were going on.
Yeah,
But
like
this
we
was
didn't know like how things were gonna come together. It
yeah,
wasn't even just how the wedding was gonna come together. It was just like
yeah, it
how
was
our
more than
living,
just the
just
wedding.
all that,
Yeah,
our
it
whole
was our
life.
lives as we just
Yeah,
we're trying to get money, trying to get married. We didn't have money,
yeah. And he
trying to
had to get a job and
yeah, I was trying
everything.
to get a job, just all of it. And I'm
Hmm.
moving up to where they were living and just figuring out all
Yeah.
of it. But God gave her this scripture to really comfort us, and it says it's Matthew 18:19. Again, I say to you that if two of you agree on earth concerning anything that they ask, it will be done for them by my Father in heaven.
Mm.
For where two or three are gathered together in my name, I am there, and I am there in the midst.
Yeah. And I think it
Yeah.
even speaks to just our whole life, like I said before, about how after marriage we went through so much. And it was so many times where we went without, but God provided every
Yeah.
time we prayed. Like, and so I know that even now, like whether it be with our children or what else we need, that He will do it for us.
Yeah.
That's always our reminder is that He will.
Yeah.
Not even just staying at the place, well, like if it's in your will, God, or if you
Yeah.
want to, you can. It's like in a place where we have great faith knowing that,
Yeah.
oh, you're gonna do it, because you said you would. Kids aren't just a thing that, oh, I just want, but it's a thing that He's actually promised,
Hmm.
and so it's like, okay, you will, we know that He will. So it's like when doubt, disbelief, despair, all that, when it tries to come, even cloud, it's not just with children, but with just a lot of things that we're seeking, a lot of things that we're needing. He always speaks and reminds us, I will do it for you. And no matter how long it takes, no matter what it is, we know that He will do it for us. And so I really thank God that He even gave us that for our wedding
Yes.
because it's really like a testament to our whole lives. I believe it's like, okay, how do we know He will unless we go without something, unless there's a threat to something that, He is calling us to or something that He's promised to us.
Hmm.
And so I really do thank God for that. I thank God for even that reminder, even now,
I know.
like that He's going to do it for us and
For
that He's
real.
going to come through. So,
Because it doesn't mean we don't have moments where,
yeah,
you know, we may be struggling, or we
right.
may, you know, go through an emotional stint where we're like just overwhelmed with all the things that, you know, we may want or may desire.
Yeah,
And it can be stressful
right.
sometimes. You know, children, back with the wedding, and other things that we're desiring that are things that we know that it's like things that are a part of life
Yeah,
that we know we need or want. And
right.
it's like it can be overwhelming. It's like how is this even gonna happen? Like, you know, we don't have money, or we don't have, you know, something that we need.
Right.
But it's funny how simple that scripture is.
Mhm.
Um,
If He just asked.
literally, if two of you agree on earth concerning anything that they ask,
Hmm.
it will be done.
And the
It's
crazy
like,
thing, like that He gave us that for our marriage, and it said if two,
yeah.
a marriage is just two
Mhm.
people, and so that was really crazy to me.
Mhm.
And like we're both like very in sync, and we don't have
That's
like too
okay.
many disagreements. We're like kind of the same person, just like
Yeah.
I'm just the female and he's the male version, but we're like really kind of the same person, so we're always kind of agreeing on things that
Yeah.
we want or things that we
Definitely.
desire. And so yeah, and like those pillow prayers will come through in times of despair
Mhm.
and
For real.
stress and anxiety and worry and all the
For
crazy
real.
stuff. But yeah, there's so many times where we just had to go to war in prayer and
Yeah.
just instantly in the moment just stop talking and just pray,
Yeah.
and just reiterate what He said. Like, and
Yep.
so yeah, and like you said you're gonna do this, guy, and we believe that you're gonna do it.
Yes.
And like even praying that He will help our unbelief when it might come and
Yep.
increase our faith when it tries to diminish. So
Yep.
like marriage is not easy. Going through all this, it hasn't been literally easy, but it's been possible through the God of the impossible. So I know we want to shout right there.
Hear my little feet tap.
Right. But yeah, it's like I don't put no limits on God. Even when my flesh might
You
try to,
can't.
and even when people might try to come to us and try to put something, it's like, no. I know
No.
what He said, and I know who He is and what He can
We
do.
have too many examples.
Yes, too many examples, too many things that God has done for us to just give up right now, or just to,
Mhm.
even entertain thoughts of giving up
Yeah.
or throwing into the towel. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
This has been Meet the Mullikins with Wes and Clara. This was just a glimpse into our lives, into our story, but we're excited to share more about our lives and all that God has blessed us with, and what the things that He puts on our heart to release. God has called us to be on social media, and however that looks like, we're excited to take part in it, and to be led by Him in everything that we do, even concerning that.
So if you want to keep up with us, it'll be on the screen here. We hope that you tune in, and we hope you enjoyed this video.
Mm-hmm. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'm just kidding.